come in, check in. Today we're going to talk about how to know if you're actually ready to scale your business. And we're going to get into that. So feel free to come in, jump in, add questions. I'll probably be on here for about 30 to 45 minutes. I think I'm going to go live on my Instagram also, because I think that would be just a good idea because so I'm going to do that, but feel free to come in. Just setting my Instagram up. Go live also. How y'all doing? If you're watching this during the replay, just hit replay just drop replay in the comments. But whatever questions you ask, I'm still going to answer them. I'll probably come back and either reply to your comment or I'll just simply make another video. If it's something that like, oh, I can make a whole video about that topic, then yes, I will do that. I'm not going to hold y'all too long. I want to be respectful of your time. Happy Thursday. Like, can y'all believe that May is pretty much almost over? Can y'all believe that? We're pretty much going into June. We at the half mark of this year. This is the time for you to stop and talk to yourself, revisit what business goals you set for yourself this year, revisit what revenue goals you set for yourself, and look and see how close you are to it. If you're not close to it, why? What's missing? What gaps need to be filled? Those are the type of questions you have to ask yourself as a business owner, because those are kind of check-ins that make sense. Those are the kind of check-ins that keep you honest and keep you making sure that you're hitting those goals in your business. Because at the end of the day, if you a solopreneur and you doing all the things, it's up to you to keep yourself accountable. So now that it's about to be June 1st, pretty much at the end of this month, you want to sit down and check in and see, like, what did you say you were going to do in your business? What money did you plan to make? How many clients you plan to get? How many speaking engagements you wanted to book? And then look and see how close you are or how far you are. And then look and see what work you've actually been doing. Now, what has worked? What was the one that was the most like, oh my God, every time I did this, it turned into money. Every time I did this, I got a new client. Every time I did this, what are those things? Because those are the things, when we get to this second half of the year, you need to double down on those things. What things did you do that just really wasn't fruitful? What did the numbers look like? What content was doing well? Like, those type of things you should always do as like a mid-year check-in. And sometimes you got to have them hard conversations with yourself and be like, ooh, I didn't make this goal because of me, or I didn't make this goal because of something that I didn't do. And that's just a little tidbit I wanted to add. But today's topic is we're going to talk about how to know if you're actually ready to scale your business or if you're just tired of doing one-on-ones. Because a lot of times we take on one-on-ones and sometimes we don't set boundaries. Sometimes we're not good at organizing our schedule, managing our time, or we'll spend a lot of time doing busy work as opposed to the things that need to be done to bring more revenue into the business. And so we'll find ourselves overextending ourselves, over delivering, and undercharging. And so those are the type of things you got to look at in your business to see if that's something that's, I guess you could say, important to look at, because at the end of the day, being overwhelmed does not automatically mean that you're ready to scale just because you're overwhelmed. A lot of times I've had clients who talked about, oh, I want to open a group program. Oh, I want to start coaching more than one person. But at the end of the day, you need to evaluate your business and see, is your concept proven to where a group of people will be willing to purchase it at the same time? Because at the end of the day, when you sometimes are exhausted, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're ready. So I need you to, again, like I just talked about, take a look at your business. A lot of people, they want to escape that one-on-one because of the burnout, because They're tired, their time is being taken up, but you sometimes need to do a time audit to see what you're spending your time on. And you might be spending your time on things that are not necessarily moving the needle. And so that's causing you to be exhausted because you're finding yourself working extremely hard and you're doing this and you're doing that. You booked, you busy, your calendar is full, but you're not seeing much money come through your business. And you're like, okay, I'm working hard. I bust my business. But at the end of the day, how stable is the business? What type of business processes and systems have you created that is going to allow you to scale? Because the thing about scaling and the thing about adding more people and increasing your impact and increasing from one to one to one to many is you need to have some systems in place, because if you were burnout with just serving one person at a time, how burnout will you be with serving multiple people? So when you are looking to scale, you're not wanting to scale chaos, because if you scale chaos, that's just going to create more chaos. And that's not what you want for yourself. And to be honest, I don't want that for you either. You know, I hope you don't want that for yourself, because I definitely don't want that for you. I want you to have a thriving business that's booked and busy and not broke. So for me, I think that that's one of the things I think it's really important to tell people to stop and look and see. Have you proven your concept? Do you have things that you consistently repeat yourself? You consistently find yourself like sounding like a broken record because you're telling multiple clients the same thing and they're all coming back. They're all having aha moments. They're all coming back like, oh, wow, I tried this, like you said, and it was a success. Oh my God, thank you so much. Like if you keep having yourself doing that, to me, that's one sign that yes, your business is ready to scale, because you have proven that your framework, your method, and the processes that you use work on your clients. So you have to look at that. You have to look at your ability to handle multiple people at the same time, because let's just say you're moving from one-on-one to now you're moving to a group. This group might be 10 people, 15 people. And so do you have the capacity to handle 15 people being signed up at the same time? Do you have welcome emails already created? Do you have surveys for them to commit? Like what instructions? You got instructions already set up for them to get as soon as they onboard? If you haven't created that for your one-on-one clients, it might not necessarily be time for you to move. You see what I'm saying? And then I highly suggest, I have a profit audit. You can find that in the chat. Take the profit audit. It takes about 2 minutes, but if you take it, it will show you where leaks are in your business, what type of systems you want to create when you're on the way to scaling. If you don't have any of those things created, I would suggest you start working on creating them. Not overnight. It's not something you have to do immediately. It's not something you have to do expeditiously, but I would start working on creating those so that you can position yourself to scale. Because here's the thing. You don't want to be like, oh, today I'm going to scale and now tomorrow you automatically just do it. It's a process. It needs to be some type of strategy, some type of planning, some type of transition period, and what that transition looks like. And so I highly recommend that you look into things like that instead of just thinking, oh, well, I'm tired. So because I'm tired and I'm burnt out and I'm ready to quit, I understand that something has to give, but you want to do it with some type of strategy. Because at the end of the day, if your business only works when you are constantly working, that's part of your problem. You don't have something that's scalable because you can't scale yourself. You can't multiply yourself. You're only and always going to be only one person. So you have to create systems to duplicate yourself. And yes, hiring people is always an option, but do you really want to hire somebody for something that you could have created a simple form to take them? If I hire somebody, I want to be able to hire somebody who's going to come in, move the needle in my business, come in, be productive, come in and be advantageous to my business. You know what I'm saying? I'm a money nerd. I need my money to work for me. I need my money to be putting in work. So if I'm hiring somebody to do a task that's very simple and it's really easy that I could have just created a Google form to handle, to me, that's not a good use of the money in my business. So those are the type of things you have to think about before you make the decision of if you want to scale, if your business is ready to scale. Because otherwise, If you think you're tired now, wait until you scale. And so at the end of the day, that's not what you want. You're wanting to scale so that you can have a more efficient business that's bringing in the type of revenue that you're interested in. You're not looking to scale so you can compound the amount of work you're doing. So you want to work on building those systems in your business first. Okay. So here are some things to think about. How is your lead gen? Is your lead gen consistent? Do you have a consistent process, a consistent pipeline that you have people going through? Do you have a consistent system? So for example, if you meet somebody at a networking event, you finish speaking at a conference and somebody approaches you, do you already know exactly where you want to send them? Do you already know exactly what steps you want them to take to lead to you making them a customer? If you don't have that, at the very least, that's something you should work on. And do you have a consistent method that works for you? What is the best lead gen strategy that you have that gets you the most client, that proven and proven again, it has worked? So for myself, for example, it's always going to be in person for me. Social media is great. I like social media. Social media is good because it helps me understand, how to show up. It helps me see what's trending. It helps me see what topics, what's going on. And it helps me establish my business. So if somebody looks for me online, they have a good idea of who I am, what I do. So it's very useful for me. But in terms of lead generation, it is not my top. It's not my top lead generation tool. I have in-person events, which is my top lead gen. So if you haven't figured that out in your business, going from one-on-one to scaling, that's going to be hard because you haven't even figured out exactly what brings the most people into your pipeline. So these are the type of things I just always want to think about. If you got questions, comments, feel free to just drop them in the chat. We can talk about it. But I just like to give a little food for thought, and I like to expand because these are the things that I experienced in my business when I was working, and I was, at one point I tell people all the time, I almost closed my business down. Like I almost stopped operating my business because I was so tired and exhausted, and I was working so hard, but I wasn't making any money. Like end of the year, I was in the red, and I was like, this can't be life, bro. This can't be us. It got to be more. So for me, I had to sit down and realize that I was a part of the problem. And you might not be part of the problem, but you got to sit down and figure out what the problem is before you scale. Because if you plan on scaling, that's not going to, trying to call and scam me while I'm live. But if you're planning on scaling, but you don't have a consistent lead generation process right now, you can't say exactly where you get your clients and have a consistent way. You don't have any systems in place, which means that everything that happens in your business takes you to manually do it. You don't have a clear idea of what journey your client goes through. You don't have those broken record moments that you found yourself consistently saying to clients over and over and over again. Or if everything depends on your memory, the whole system is locked right here in your head. You don't have anything written down, any proven frameworks. I mean, even in a Google Drive document, it's all up here. How can you scale that? So that basically becomes burnout for you, because if I'm struggling and I'm working really hard and I have to do all of that for one-on-one, what happens when now I'm scaling that to multiple people? That's going to multiply the amount of work that I have to do. And I'm really kind of setting myself up to have to do so much. And I don't want that for you. And I don't want that for myself either at the end of the day. So I think that it's important for us to have these type of conversations. I'm always transparent to share what my journey looks like, because my journey in my business and getting it to where it is now, it's been a roller coaster. It's been a hell of a ride. I really didn't have anybody who I was able to say okay, this person, I personally know them. They're where I want to be. They're where I'm trying to get to. Let me talk to them to figure out exactly how they got successful. Let me pay for them and, take them out to coffee. Let me, build relationships and networks with people who have doing that. When I was starting my business, I didn't even know that's what I should do. I had no clue. So I just kind of was out there fumbling around trying to figure out exactly what it looked like and exactly how I should be showing up in my business. And as a result, I hit my head a couple of times, like kind of with a lot of things in my life. And I used to categorize it as, oh, I always got to go through a lot before I get where I got to go. And it's no, I don't. What the difference is, I didn't know. So our only option I had was to try from what I know. And then when that didn't work, try something different. It takes a lot of resilience when it comes to this business thing. And so I'm trying to help you and save you from some of the mistakes that I made and help you just be more confident in your business, for one, help you increase your flow. Like one of the things I think that's really important for you to always keep in mind is your impact, working on your impact. Hold on, I'm trying to do that. But yeah, so that's what I think is something that I feel like a lot of people don't pay attention to. My third point is you need to have proof that people consistently want the transformation that you offer. Do you have a track record of people who have constantly booked you, asked the same questions repeatedly, clients got similar results over and over again, and you're solving a repeatable problem, and you can completely and clearly explain the transformation that your customers made? If you are able to do that, then yes, I feel like that's a good sign that you know that you're able and ready to scale. You just got to create the systems behind it so scaling doesn't equate to you scaling chaotically. But those are parts that I think that it's really important for you to think about. So I'm gonna run through that again. People always asking the same questions, and you able to have the answers for them. You have consistent multiple clients getting the same results or very similar results. Is it the same problem that you have people showing up with in your clients? Because one of the things as a personal finance expert, you got people who show up with different problems. This person might need to pay off debt. This person might be really vigilant about their money and they need to let go of it a little bit so they can invest. This person might be processing overspending. You see what I'm saying? So it might be different issues that different people are showing up as. Which one has become my zone of genius that I've helped so many people over and over again with that same issue, help them arrive at similar results, help them solve the problem, the same type of problem over and over again. And I can clearly explain to somebody exactly how I brought that transformation over and over again. That's the type of thing that you want to scale. You don't want to scale and you kind of still scaling is for like you clear on what your message is, you clear on what the transformation is that you bring, and you have a consistent, even if you haven't developed it into a clear framework, like with the name and the acronym and graphics and all of that stuff like that, you still have a pinpointed system that you've used constantly over and over again. So last topic. And so if you have questions you want here, drop them in the chat. If not, I'm going to go ahead and dive into my last topic, and then I'm going to jump out of here and get off your hair. Again, if you're watching this in the replay, make sure you drop that in the comments, ask any questions you have. I'll be happy to help you. If you're curious about if you are ready to scale, look in the comments. There is a profit audit. Take the profit audit, and basically see where you might be leaking money in your business, what type of systems you need to create in your business, and how all of that works so that you can start working on those things gradually. It's not set like as a to-do list for you to be like, oh, I need to do all these things overnight. Don't do that. Because we're real good about picking some busy work to knock out that keeps us away from doing the things that move the needle. I know I used to be, and it's something I still sometimes struggle with to this day, like just being fully transparent. It's all a part of running a business, and it's all a part of tapping into your strengths and your weaknesses and figuring out which weaknesses, if you want your business to succeed, you got to make happen regardless. I'm just saying. So yeah, let's tap into this last point. We rounding out at about 20 minutes. We're going to tap into this last point, and then I will leave you to it for the rest of your evening. Okay, so last point. When you are talking about scaling your business, if the reason why you want to scale is simply because you're just super busy and you're like, oh my God, well, this is burning me out. I'm, working with too many people. I need to just work with them in one setting. That's your only reason. I don't think that's a good reason. And it might create more stress for you and not necessarily more stability. And that's what scaling should do. Scaling should create more stability. It should create more consistent income coming in. And it takes systems. Systems at the end of the day, they create freedom. I mean, if you follow me or you've been following me, I just traveled for I think 2.5 weeks. The fact that I was still able to get things moving, came back to progress on contracts that I was talking about and negotiating before I left. And the fact that I was able to come back, pick up exactly where it is. People were able to jump on my calendar who needed to. So I got appointments on my calendar that they booked while I was gone. Didn't take anything from me. They were able to go on my website, or if I gave them my card, they had access to be able to jump on my calendar and tell me about their event. So I didn't work. Full transparency, I did work on my book because I'm in the process of writing a book. Like while I was on long flights, I would work on my book. That's all the work I did. I did not do any other work other than that at the end of the day. So when you're working on scaling, you're doing it to create stability in your business. But here are the things that you need. And this is my final point I'm going to leave on. If you are thinking about scaling and you want to know how scaling will benefit you, or rather you want to know what things you need to have in your business to know that it's time to scale, systems. You need to create systems. And I know I keep saying create systems, so I'm gonna break down what that means. Create systems means that if somebody is interested in joining your financial coaching program, you have something that qualifies them before they get to you, so that you're not consistently ending up on calls that people no call, no show. You're not consistently ending up on calls that the person doesn't have a budget, or they're not looking for what you have. They're confused on what you offer. Like a lot of those times you can clear that up before they ever get to actually on a call with you. So having a system already set in place that you know what you're looking for that client to have in order for them to be truly the person who you know for a fact you can solve their problems and transform their life and just increase their overall bliss with their finances. You should have something that qualifies them before they make it to you, so that you will have the ability to speak with people who are truly qualified buyers. You want to have clarity in what you offer, what the transformation is that you offer, what your zone of genius is when it comes to this personal finance thing that you've helped customers with over and over again. You want to know that you're looking to scale, not just to make more money. You're looking to scale your business to create a bigger impact. You're looking to scale your business so that you can increase your income. But why? Are you looking to hire people? You're looking to invest in better resources? Like, to me, that needs to be a part of your plan and a part of your strategy. And then scaling, if you want to build a business that can operate sustainably. And what I mean by that is, if you are tired and you get sick today and your business has to completely shut down because you didn't feel good for one day, that's not what scaling is. You want to have a business that if you're sick for that day, you have a few things you can put on autopilot that you can back up and you'll be good. Business won't miss a beat and it'll still operate. And if somebody wants to get in touch with you, okay, maybe they can't get in touch with you today, but it won't be they just sit in your email and you're supposed to follow up, or they, want to reach out to you, but they just have to wait until you feel better. And whenever you feel better is, because those are the type of things that makes you miss money. At the end of the day, the goal is not to just be busy. You're looking to build a business that lasts. That's why you want to scale your business. You want to scale it because you want to build a business that will last. So those are the things you want to have. You want to have systems. You want to have clarity in the transformation that you offer. And when you have clarity in what you offer, the amount of confidence in which you show up in your business and operate your business and know that you that girl. Well, I'm saying you that girl because I'm a girl, but the confidence you have in the way that you operate, the way that you talk about your business, the way that you present what you offer to people when they ask you, it all looks different when you're super clear on exactly what it is you offer. So that's why I keep saying that. And then when it comes to scaling, you want to have some type of clear systems. And so I'll break down systems for you again. So let me explain an example of a system. Let's just say you teach financial coaching and you have one-on-ones that you have with coaching clients. And so somebody is interested in booking you. They saw a video that you did on social media and they're like, oh my God, I want to book her, or I want to book him. I don't want to forget about my fellas. How do they do that? Do you have something already in place that they can do without you personally sending them a message, sending them a link, and then when you get the link, making an appointment, like not having to do everything manually? That's what a system is. A system is when they see you, you either have the link in your bio, just where they can go to your profile, click the link takes them to sign up, either your lead magnet, or it takes them to sign up for a consultation. They get on the consultation. Before they get on the consultation, they get a small little form to fill out so you can get more information about why they're reaching out to you and why they want to talk with you. So before you jump on a call with them, you have the ability to look and see, okay, they're looking for this. You might be able to drive up like, oh, okay, well, I know this might will help them. I know this might can help them. I have this service right here that I know will be perfect for them. Okay, now you jump on the call. Up until that point, you haven't had any contact with them, actual like one-on-one in person. That reduces the amount of time you have to spend with each client and gives you more time to spend on the value that you provide to them. Spend more time in your zone of genius as opposed to on admin task of having to email back and forth and blah, 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 like all of those things. Now they get on a call with you. They decide, oh, I want to sign up. I want to sign up for this. This is great. Do you already have the link set up that they can just sign up right there, already done? You're not having to go create an offer because you done changed your price while you was on there with them because you weren't quite confident in quoting them or they felt uneasy about the price that you want. A system means you already got that set up. This is your price. This is what you offer. I would love for you to sign up. I would love to have you in the program. I really know that I can help you. But a lot of those things are created already. You're not having to create them one-off manually every single customer, every single time. If that's how you're currently operating now, it's going to be very hard for you to scale. And that's just the reality of it. So that's my last point for today. I hope this was helpful. If you have questions, please make sure you drop those questions in the chat. I'll be happy to answer them. If you got questions about how I did something or how I made an adjustment or something in my business, feel free to ask them as well. Happy to answer them. Happy to be here to be a resource, to be a resource for you. So you all have a good one. Make sure you do something to show up for yourself. It's time to stop practicing and it's time to start profiting. All right. Let me turn this off. Okay, got that done. All right, so I'm going to hop off of here. Hopefully this information was helpful and it gave you some kind of clarity to what I be talking about in my crazy little head. But I'm trying to help people understand and kind of take a little bit of the stress out of the process, share what my process looks like, hopefully help you not make some of the mistakes that I made. And hopefully I did that. All right.